we've got a full WWE Monday Night Raw preview. Jimmy Snuka goes back to court today, and Jerry Jarrett teases a return to the wrestling business.
Every regime, whoever was in charge of WCW would call me down and say, what do we need to do? Careers were lost over and over and over because they made a bad decision. Vince has built a corporation around the wrestling company, and you're wanting to build a wrestling company within a corporation, and it won't work. You have to have a czar in the wrestling business. That booker has to have 100% total control over all the talent. Bill Shaw. Jerry, I get it, but there's got to be another way. That won't work here. How smart is it to put your daughter in charge of a wrestling company when she saw her first match at or about the moment that they bought the company? It's a very sensitive area. That's my son. I'm releasing everybody in the company. And so if Hogan is going to play himself, he can't disassociate himself from his history. Everybody wants to be a champion, and every fan can relate to that. Now, as best I remember, Sid was the champion, and he didn't mean anything. And bleeding, and after he wins it, they kick the shit out of him. To keep him an underdog. Russia proves that the guarantees don't work. America has proved that a competitive free market does work.
Bro, you just dissed me for the final time, bro. You just showed me disrespect. The only course of action left is to take this to the ring. This coming Monday night, we're gonna duke it out for a keeper, and I will climb to the top rope and jump and kick you in the face. And I've been training all my wrestling skills, so I will surely win. It doesn't matter if it's submission, elimination, or just pin. When I beat you, everyone will know how weak you are. You'll lose your job. I'll take your fans and take your girl, and then I'm gonna take your belt.
Welcome to Marking Out in the Morning, coming to you live from Audacity Solutions Studios in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm your host, the Audacity. It is November 2nd, approximately 9:52 a.m. That's Central Standard Time. It's almost 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to go through the rest. It's a little too late. So, not much happened over the weekend. We'll go over some of the news and rumors in a minute. We'll go through the WWE 5-point preview for Monday Night Raw to take a look to see what's coming up tonight. We'll talk a little bit about John Cena maybe, and how they have made no mention at all of the fact that he's really missing. And he hasn't really said much about what's going on since he left. So otherwise, there's most of the news and rumors actually have more to do with TNA, ROH, or retired wrestlers. Not a whole lot of news going on for WWE or NXT really. We'll go through a few of those. And yeah, that'll be it. It'll probably be a really short show today. I'm going to be on by myself. And yeah, like I said, not a lot happening. So yeah, we'll go real quick through the news and rumors. A lot of them are not very important. A lot of them, if you're not familiar with anything outside of WWE, is not going to matter a whole lot. Let's see if there's anything really going from the Daily DDT, their news and rumors stuff. There's not a whole lot really. It's some new guys in NXT that I've never heard of: Rich Swann, Christopher Gerard. Yeah. The fact that they're teasing Sasha Banks and Natalya tonight on Raw is not really much of a rumor. That's just like recapping what WWE.com says. They have a list of everyone who's supposed to be at the SmackDown taping on Tuesday. That group will be headed to the UK for the annual tour of that part of Europe. Stardust has been teasing a Cody return on Twitter, apparently. I don't know, whatever. Really, there's almost nothing about WWE. Jimmy Snuka goes to court today for the next part of his trial for the murder of his girlfriend, something like 30 years ago. So he is getting arraigned today. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what is going on with him. So whatever that means, it happens. I think it's already going on, or else it starts in about 5 minutes. I forget if it was Eastern or Central Time that I was reading about. It's taking place in Philadelphia, so probably was Eastern Time. So I believe it's already underway. Whatever, if anything major happens, we'll find out about it. Jerry Jarrett is definitely not WWE related, and that's really all the news. So the only WWE related stuff will be the Raw preview. So we'll go over that actually first for Monday Night Raw, and then we'll go through all those ROH and TNA and other rumors. Give me 1 second here. All right, and so I'm just going to be, I posted through Inquisitor this morning the Raw preview. They give a 5-point preview. I just kind of built on what they were going through at WWE.com. They do this every Monday, and I always go through it as just a way, because that's usually going to be 5 of the stories they really focus on over the 3 hours. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, obviously last week, they officially became champion and #1 contender after Roman Reigns won the main event, Fatal 4-Way. So this week, you got to believe they'll, talk about that, whatever. I don't know if we'll officially get it confirmed for Survivor Series. That's where I assume the match will take place. I don't know if there'll be any special stipulations, or if Rollins versus Reigns in the main event Survivor Series is big enough on its own. I guess we will find out in the weeks to come. Hopefully something will get a little more solidified this week so they can start building up for the next 3 weeks. Point 2 was Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, and Kane. They just kind of addressed what we thought Bray Wyatt would be doing this week. Now that he's already claimed the souls of Undertaker and Kane. A lot of rumors about Sting. I think more hopeful than legitimate rumors about Brock Lesnar possibly coming back to help Undertaker and Kane at Survivor Series in a traditional match against the Wyatt family. We may find out a little bit more about that tonight. But again, WWE didn't really give you much information, just talking about what happened before and telling us to stay tuned for what's going on. No big surprise there. Alberto Del Rio, they did mention that he beat John Cena, but they did not mention anything else about John Cena. So I don't know if the rumors are more recently that John Cena is going to return earlier than thought. Originally, they thought he'd be off until December 26th. Now it looks like he may come back at TLC, which is in Boston on December 13th. So that could be when he gets his rematch against Alberto Del Rio. I know Vince is freaking out about low ratings on Raw, and Cena is obviously a big ratings draw. And having him come back to TLC at his hometown would be good for the live show, and probably good for people paying attention to that. Point 4 was Team Bad, or is this point 5? No, Team 4 is Team Bad and Natalya. Basically, last week after Paige got a win with a little bit of help from Distraction by Team Bad, they came out and 3-on-1 attacked Natalya after the match. So they will see kind of what happens tonight. They've made it look like it may be Sasha versus Natalya. You gotta believe that Team Bad will get involved, and that probably Charlotte and Becky will get involved as well. So we'll see how that goes. Point 5, Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. Again, it looks like they will probably just be building a feud up until Survivor Series, whether they end up on opposite teams of a traditional Survivor Series team or they get a one-on-one match. You gotta believe they're just gonna kind of try to one-up each other every week now between now and Survivor Series, and it'll be interesting to see how Breeze does, assuming he gets a legitimate match at Survivor Series. One other thing I talked about real quick in the article I posted in Inquisitor was the fact that they still haven't really addressed John Cena. And they haven't officially said anything about it. And on his Twitter, he hasn't said much of anything. If you look what's been on there since Hell in a Cell, it's basically just videos of him working out, some stuff about him and Nikki at Halloween, and then the tweet where he gave some major props to Taylor Swift. So he's kind of gone silent about it, and so has WWE. So again, that's just some stuff I posted at Inquisitor this morning, but that's the 5-point preview for Monday Night Raw and my tiny little bit about John Cena still being unaddressed. That's really about it for WWE information. Again, Jimmy Snuka is having his arraignment today. I don't really know what that means, so if you know what that means, congratulations. But that's what's happening in WWE news. And again, the next closest thing was looking at the dailyddt.com. I'll just go through everything on that because there's a few sort of WWE related rumors. Again, recent WWE signings, Rich Swann and Christopher Gerard made their NXT debuts over the weekend at a live event. I don't know anything about those guys. I don't know if they were big in the indies or what, but dailyddt.com thought it was worth mentioning. TNA looks like they will be trying to come back to New York City to do TV tapings next year. But the future of TNA, I feel like, is always in the air. They always have financial problems. They're not doing great in the ratings. A lot of the wrestlers are leaving, so especially now that it's been made clear the doors open at WWE for potentially for TNA stars, you gotta believe a lot of them are gonna leave. Again, nothing there. If you're interested to know ahead of time, scheduled for Tuesday SmackDown taping includes Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Big Show, Kane, Cesaro, New Day, the Dudleys, Bella Twins, Alicia Fox, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Paige. Will all not be at this Tuesday SmackDown taping because they are going to the UK for the tour over there. So, just corrected myself. If you're in the UK, those are the people you get to see, but they will not be on the SmackDown taping, which WWE doesn't even treat that like a real show anyway, so big surprise. We'll see what kind of show WWE throws together without most of the great workers that make SmackDown so good. I guess Kevin Owens and Neville can main event or something. Stardust, again on Twitter, he just sent out a couple tweets teasing a return of Cody, and said that he would have to have one more match with somebody. He didn't really say who, to bring back Cody Rhodes, whatever. So that was really all of the rumors for today from dailyddt.com. If you follow TNA very much, there was or is a knockout named Taryn Terrell. She released a video on YouTube that's like a huge born-again Christian, her just what they call their testimony about how they came to Jesus. So she kind of talks about that a little bit, if that's interesting to you. I found it at WrestleZone.com, but the video was posted to YouTube. I'll see what channel it is. If you just search for Taryn Terrell, it's her own channel on YouTube. The video is called Taryn Terrell, The Beginning of My Journey with Christ. It's about 10 minutes long. I listened to it for a minute and sort of lost interest, so do what you want. I've heard a lot of testimony about born again experience in my life. Good news for ROH, in that this week on Destination America they had their highest ratings ever. They had a 227,000 viewers during their 11 o'clock Eastern 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern on a on the Friday night. Considering, Friday night, Wednesday night. So again, Ring of Honor goes on at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Wednesday night on Destination America, which is not. I don't get Destination America, and I have a pretty standard cable setup. Plus, they give it almost no promotion, and again, it's at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday night. So, going up against NXT, and yeah, whatever. 227,000 viewers, the most they've ever had, and the previous record was 175,000. So, yeah, kudos to them. And TNA's Impact Wrestling drew 266,000 this week. The replay, which goes on right after ROH, that actually drew another 98,000 viewers. The huge jump is the replay was actually at 50% viewers this week, which is clearly just a result of the huge ROH ratings. And if you know anything about the Young Bucks, if you heard anything about them, if you're listening, or if you check dirt sheets or anything, you probably heard a little bit about them claiming that they had signed with somebody, but they wouldn't say who. They basically listed every major promotion around. According to WrestleZone.com and Nick Paglino, I don't know if that's how he says his name, but that's how I'm going to say it. They officially announced they signed exclusive North American contract with Ring of Honor. They are still allowed to wrestle in New Japan and PWG, so they can do that. And apparently, New Japan Pro Wrestling was apparently kind of instrumental, as they say, in helping them get that contract with ROH. They said they did send out feelers to TNA and NXT and everybody else, but that there was no really any kind of bidding war or anything. ROH was the only ones who were serious about signing them, even though apparently there was some support from people in NXT. No official offer was ever made. And we already went through that dirt sheet. Again, I'll read this straight out of WFMZ.com, which is media directly out of Eastern Pennsylvania and Western New Jersey. Channel 69 News. There's a video they have on here, a couple minutes. But basically, he's scheduled to be formally arraigned in Lehigh County Court today. He's facing third-degree murder charges in connection with the death of his girlfriend in a Whitehall Township hotel room in 1983, so over 32 years ago. And the article and the video talks about his sister and her still struggling with it. But if you want more, again, WFMZ.com, Jimmy Snuka getting arraigned today. And finally, if you heard the intro, there was Jerry Jarrett. There is a video going out for, let me see the name of this YouTube channel. There's going to be a shoot video released with him. The video is called Guest Booker with Jerry Jarrett Official Trailer for Shoot Interview from Kayfabe Commentaries on YouTube. There's about a 2-minute promo, which I played the audio from at the beginning of the show. There's not a whole lot he says here, but if you read the article at WrestlingInc.com, it says that Jerry Jarrett has been teasing on his Facebook that he is going to be getting back into the business, but he hasn't given anything official. It's not sure if he's perhaps getting back involved with the Sun at GFW. Others have talked about getting involved with Classic Wrestling Revolution. It's a promotion in Las Vegas where apparently Jake Snake Roberts and some others are involved with teaching old school wrestling. He did note that if you miss old school wrestling, this is what he's gonna give you when he comes back. So for whatever that's worth, that's Jerry Jarrett coming back. And that's the end of the news. Today's show is only about 20 minutes. I already went through the WWE previews. That's usually how I end the show. Things were so crazy out of order today, and sorry, you're welcome. So there's not really much else for me to go with you. Dustin, thanks for sticking around the whole show. And again, for anyone still listening, we're just going to go through all of the ways you could have listened. I skipped that this morning. I'm going to go through what I missed in the intro. Maybe when I redo the video on YouTube, I'll switch it around. We'll see. Maybe I will. I'm just going to redo it. So, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. But if you are listening to us live, that means you know that every morning you can check us out on Blog Talk Radio to listen to us podcast style, or you can get on Periscope to watch video style. And if you want to find us on Periscope, it's at HEELZiggler_com, the same thing as our Twitter account at HEELZiggler_com, because we are sponsored by HEELZiggler.com. If you want to find us on Blog Talk Radio, go to Audacity Solutions podcast. What else is there to let you know about us? If you want to get involved live, again, you can listen Blog Talk Radio, but if you want to get involved, you can tweet at us on Twitter at HEELZiggler_com, anything you want to talk about wrestling related, or you can hop in the Periscope room. If you say anything at me, I will usually respond if it's in any way relevant or funny or anything like that. You can also call into the show while we're live, 657-383-1786. Usually the people who call in are scheduled guests, but we do every once in a while have surprise guests who call in. Or if you go to our page at Blog Talk Radio, you'll find out how you can also log in through your computer and talk somewhat Skype style. So yeah, if you want to listen to this later and not live, we are on iTunes, we are on Stitcher, we go on YouTube. You can listen to these Blog Talk Radios not live. You can subscribe to them at Blog Talk Radio. There's an RSS feed if you just want to download the podcast to your normal podcast player. Also, you can check out the Periscope videos up to, I think, 24 hours later if you really want. They're usually not that good. You can't hear all the sounds and all the callers and everything, but it's sometimes not anything to miss. Like today, you only missed the sound effects. They weren't even sound effects. They were just an intro. So anyway, that's all we have for today. I'm going to play the closing clip, which has a lot of the same information I just gave you, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Marking Out in the Morning is proud to be recorded in Des Moines, Iowa at Audacity Solutions Studios. You can check us out at HEELZiggler.com. Follow us on Twitter at HEELZiggler_com. The song you hear at the beginning of the show was recorded in Des Moines, Iowa by my friend Campbell D'Souza with recording studios of Phil Young. You likely also heard the song Parsec by the artist Arma Piros, which I downloaded for free at noisetrade.com. The album Timelines, and got permission from Arma Piros on Twitter for that. I also downloaded the song you're hearing right now at noisetrade.com. It is by a band called Ampersand. The song is called Aurora Borealis. It's on their album Trial and Triumph. Available for free at noisetrade.com. I haven't got their permission for this yet, but I hope to do so in the future. I tweet them about it, so we'll see what happens. You may also hear a more aggressive song that would be Ready, Set, Fire by a website called incompetech.com, where you can download stuff like that to use for your own goods, royalty free. Marking Out in the Morning is here every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can subscribe to our podcast at iTunes or Stitcher. Just search for Audacity Solutions Podcast. And of course, you can listen live every day or listen to the entire archive at blogtalkradio.com/Audacity Solutions.
Thanks, Dustin. I'm out, my friend. Later.